Dr. Vaishali and I'm reading from the book Substance of Homeopathy, book written by Dr. Rajan Shankaran, chapter number 46, Classifying Patient into the Kingdom. In homeopathic practice, so far we have used symptom as the only or almost only guide to the remedy, without really considering the source of the drug. For example, if we were to differentiate sepia from phosphorus, it would usually be on the basis of the symptom alone. It is, however, being very clear to me and many of the other homeopaths that the symptomatology of any drug is intimately related to the source it is drawn from, and that each drug has in its essence of its source. For example, in lachesis, we find the symptom are left-sided. The person cannot bear pressure, constriction around the neck, and has a darting movement of the tongue. It cannot be a mere coincidence that the lachesis neck has all its organ on the left side of the body. It most vulnerable around the neck region and has, like all the neck, the darting movement of the tongue is present. Such examples are legion and have been used by teachers to bring alive the materia medica. However, this knowledge has not been actively or systematically used in differentiating the remedy by studying their origin if properly understood this study. If properly understood, this study could enable us to think directly of the kind of remedy needed for the patient, a sort of direct application of the law of the similar, having from the very outset found such an understanding extremely useful in the practice. I have attempted to identify and note down the main different features of the four major kingdoms from which our medicine are derived. Example: plant, animal, minerals, and nosotes. From this, we will have at least some idea as to which kingdom we are to choose our remedy, and this certainly make our task much simpler and easier. I must warn that such differentiation is neither final nor foolproof and is not always clear. Let it be considered another point of view so that we may be able to look at the case from the several viewpoints and not only by one point. Now, under level plant kingdom. Plant kingdom, the basic quality of the plant is sensitivity. It is living organism rooted to the soil, unable to move, to survive. It needs to be sensitive to change in the extreme external environment and also capable of adapting the changes, for it cannot be moved away. These features are also descriptive and those needing a plant remedy. They are the sensitive by nature and affected by many things and adjusting and adapting to this. In this choice of traits too is reflected this sensitivity. They prefer flowery, irregular pattern, something that appeals to their aesthetic taste. Their writing too is an irregular pattern, usually rounded and disorganized. The same is true of their manner of speaking. They present their complaint in a disorganized fashion, often talking in between about other people's complaint and describing their own incompletely in no particular order. They begin their follow-ups rather abruptly. With their acute sensitivity, they feel most things intensely and are very descriptive. The complaints are of a rapid onset and changing nature. With many modalities, they are usually related to this sensitivity. The causative factor is often emotional or physical shock, strain, or hurt. The expression they use are I'm affected, I'm sensitive to, this hurt me, I cannot bear this touches me. This expression shows them to be sensitive, soft, emotional people. Their feelings are most important to them and the fear of being hurt. They find it difficult to make human contact despite this sensitivity, and adaptable nature. They are easily affected and can have abrupt mood change. Even their dreams are influenced by the day's occurrence. The dreams are varied. Dream of plant, greenery, nature, music, art. The miasmatic range of the plant remedy is from the acute to the psychotic miasm. Exceptional are Drosera, which is considered to be tubercular, and Anacardium, which is considered to be a psychosyphilitic remedy. Now, under level animal kingdom, competition is the rule in the animal kingdom. The theme of survival of the fittest holds true for all living creatures, including algae, fungi, plants, etc. But is most evident in the animal world. A person needing an animal remedy immediately draw attention to himself by his clothing, behavior, and etc. And the need to attract attention to be attractive is an important aspect of their basic competitive nature. Their clothes attract attention because of the color, design, or the fashion in which they are worn. That is not to say that they are always flashily dressed. The basic need is to attract attention, and this may be gained by always wearing which is gained by wearing dull clothes to a party. They are dressed differently from the others, and this difference is noticeable. Their handwriting signature is striking, eye catching, aggressive, and even their behavior is attention seeking, and they are lively, vivacious, animated, very alert, and they maintain eye contact and looking for the reaction and are themselves quick to react. They may be quite abrupt in the actions and speech. They are very expressive and communicate easily and seem to have an extraordinary ability to make human contact. There is a strong desire for company and they are worse when alone. With this feature of wanting to attract the attention to be better than others, they choose professionals that have competition and like advertising in someone's form, in any form. They can be very jealous of any competitor and may resort to any means, including deceit, and achieve their ends. They can be quite malicious, and their fear, understandably, are of being neglected, looked down upon, and failure in competitions from the love and losses in attractiveness. And any of these features could become also an exciting factor. For example, rejection, failure in the competition. The complaint they present with usually those which make them feel less attractive or less capable of competing successfully. They may come, they may come from the pimple, obesity, hair loss, etc. Even when the chief complaint is in another sphere, they almost irritably draw your attention to some feature which has to do with the attractiveness and competition. This intense need to attract attention seems to have its basis in the split in self. As I understand it, in the mineral we have seen the complaint reaction are restricted to one or two sphere. For example, calcium sulf. All the features hinge on the axis of security and ego. In plants, due to the sensitivity and the problem are in the many more sphere. They are sensitive to all sort of disturbance. However, in animal remedies, there seems to be two distinct entity coexisting in the same being. Further, the human part seems to have contempt for the animal in the self. I have found this split personality is most patients who improve with animal remedies. The clue to this feeling about themselves is often to be found in their expression by human being. Human are so cruel, I feel split up, I jump at them, I am not good enough, etc. like such a statement. Before converting this expression into rubric, it is worth our while to consider the underlying feeling. We find the animal remedy figure prominently in the rubric that cover a split in self, like antagonism with himself in Lacanum, sepia, confusion of the identity, sense of duality, lachesis naja, delusion double of being, lachesis moschus, theridion, delusion places of being in a two at the same time, Sencris and will feels as if he had that is in Lycasis and Naja. The same theme may be reflected in the other rubric, though not directly. For example, contemptuous of self, Lacaninum. Delusion looked down upon, sees a Lacaninum. Anger alternating with a quick repentance, which is a Lycinum. Striking, knocking his head against the wall, Apis. Impulse to stab himself, that is Lycinum. This list could be extended further but would serve no purpose. I trust the idea that has been conveyed. Having understood this split, we can explain the two sides seen in the same person: the affectionate, warm, caring, playful, faithful, communicative on the one hand, and jealous, aggressive, deceitful, and malicious on the other hand. The aggression is a marked feature. They have a fear of being attacked and may respond by aggression. The dream shows many of the features described above, and they have a dream of animal, snake, pursuit, being attacked, amorous dreams, dream of flying. The complaints are moderately paced, not as slow as the mineral or nor as rapid as a plant. The miasmatic range is from the acute to the psychosyphilitic. Now under label mineral kingdom, the central feature of the mineral kingdom are structure and organization. These are the features that help scientists and understand uh, this kingdom well. Allow an exact classification of element in the periodic table enable them to propose law, etc. The structure organization of the mineral make chemistry an exact science. We find this feature of structure and organization in person who require a remedy from the mineral kingdom. The first impression one gets on seeing these people is that they are very well organized. Even the clothes they wear are characteristic, symmetrical pattern, stripe, checks, or the plain. They present their complaint in very systematic manner, often being with the beginning with the previous follow-up and then speaking of subsequent event in the almost chronological order. I came to use last on for the first 6 days. The pain is my that way or that way. They are very often note down their symptom very carefully and written point wise and describe each symptom completely in detail before passing on to the next symptom. They describe one symptom fully. The handwriting signature is usually very well structured, straight, not rounded and disturbed, and it is very angled and nicely described. Clinical measurement, if any, recorded or reported exactly in the numbers by the name, date, and in a very particular manner. In the follow-up, they describe the change in the percentage. I am 25% better. They speak precisely and to the point. All these characteristics are due to the certain attitude of the mind, a structure through structural thought process, and consequently the professions they choose is one for which they feel best suited. They become an engineer, accountant, computer consultant, business manager. They are often very high performer and work in a steady, stable, and reliable manner. Even housewives shows these characteristics and manage the house very effectively and efficiently. The complaints they suffer from are generally of the chronic nature, slowly progressive, unvarying nature of the complaint, for example, osteoarthritis, hypertension, etc. With the time, one can expect definite pathological means structural changes in the tissues. The complaint often date back to the break in structure, relationship, loss of job, financial job loss, failure, performance, defense. These are the important area in their life, and all the stress is from this type of sphere. They talk of my home, my family, my relationship, my work, and my capability and my bank balance, etc. When not telling about my joint, skin, nerves, they're telling like my joint and my skin. Their fears too are centered around this. They are anxious about failing in their work and being unable to perform well while breaking off relationship, losing what they possess or have built up. Their dreams reflect their fears, and they are mainly about financial problem, relations, family, house, performance, etc. As these are very definite and fixed in a very fixed area, the dreams tend to often be repetitive and other to in order to maintain the structure and organization in their life. They are not easily moved, are very steady. Their reaction are uniform, hardly varying in different situations. With this quality, they are naturally find it difficult to make the human contact and apparent exception to the last mentioned feature is phosphorus. A phosphorus person are alert and affectionate and make many friends. However, this easy contact is attained only at the superficial level. The other drugs have strong characteristics which do not fit into this group study are the halogen and sulfur. The halogen have the theme of aggression, which is more commonly seen in the animal kingdom. Similarly, sulfur or sulfates can care much about the appearance, and hence attractiveness may become an important theme. Again, a feature seems like a animal kingdom. The drug prepared from the mineral kingdom have a very deep action. The miasmatic dimension of the mineral encompass the whole range from the acute to syphilitic miasm. Next label is the nosodes. The indication for the nosodes lies in the process and not in any particular sphere or the area of the life. For example, a person may say, I desperately want to stand first in my class. The emphasis could be on getting the top rank, which is an object or sphere of his life. If, however, the emphasis is on his desperation, and we find this desperation is in every sphere of the life, and then all that he does or feels can be described by this single word. His way of looking at life and reacting to it are always desperate for want of convenient word, and I have described it as a process as opposed to the sphere. So when everything is desperate, the remedy would be syphilium. But if the emphasis is of feeling desperate because of or in a particular situation only, the remedy would be the antisyphilitic.